Alright everyone, it's time for another garden update because actually watering was done about a half an hour ago, so it's at peak greenness at the moment. Look at all of the collards and beets. Those are going to be so tasty. And these are the morning glories. Now, with regards to morning glory, some people, they think that all of them are psychoactive or whatever. These are the heavenly blue. Technically they are, although I'm not, doing that sort of thing anymore. You can tell because the veins on the seed leaves are red, as opposed to the Grandpa Otts, the purple, and some of the non-Ipomoea species, they're green. So that's a major difference. Also, they're more elongated, like they're literally longer, literally wider. So, yeah, there was some weeding done, and there are a lot of those. The Swiss chard is looking really well, and there are some sunflowers, chamomile. I've kept a few of them. They don't really compete with anything. The chamomile, Roman kind. A few of those Nicotiana will be allowed to stay here and there. It's not going to be a problem as well. And in here, as you can see, carrots. Now, I've already more or less thinned these. They're a little bit closer together than normal. I can always thin them a little bit further. But they're doing actually really, really well. You can see it's not even June, and they're pretty nice little seedlings. Plenty of catnip, and that's everywhere. And that phlox, or whatever it is, that little pink bushy thing. And the herbs are absolutely spectacular. This you gotta see. Look at the size of the basil now compared to like even a week ago. And the chamomile is actually getting ready to bloom already. It's not even June. So those are all great. The perennials, those two areas. And this, I raked it out again, and you may hear the neighbor, I think they have like their kid over there or something. They might be yelling at him, but there are some Nicotiana and a few morning glories in here. These are the Grandpa Otts. See the difference? No pink or red on the veins. More blunted. There's more space in between the leaves usually too. So sort of you can tell. There are some Nicotiana in here, but I did plant a lot of, the secret plant was corn poppy. Because 4 years ago I had a lot of them, and for the last few years I haven't had any. And I really wanted them back, but I never had room for them. And they need a bit more tilth in the soil. I finally have that. You can see the onions. Those are, oh, this one's getting near a foot tall already. So is that one. They're looking really, really good. I wish I'd planted more of them actually now. I almost wish I'd put 4 rows in there. You could fit them in. And as for the corn and beans, those are doing really well now too. Some of them that were sort of straggling have come up. And the key is knee-high by the 4th of July. But usually it's more like waist-high. If you've planted them at the right time and you've fertilized them properly, they're in good soil. If you're like a commercial farmer and you're just pumping the ground with chemical fertilizer, probably that's a good indicator, like knee-high. For someone who's doing the organic thing, like I do, it's closer to waist-high, or at least nearly. Like, nearly waist-high. And all of these squashes come up. The zucchini are getting their second leaves. Now I know I need to thin those, obviously. And so are the spaghetti squash. Those are beginning to come out. These actually germinated better than the zucchini, but at first you could only see the zucchini. A little container of chamomile. Those are doing really, really well, actually. So those will all be great. I'll thin those to 1 plant per. And then you've got the peppers now. Some of the peppers, a few of those are ones that actually survived the last frost, but they're kind of fucked up on top. I may have to replace those too. And you are getting as well the first cucumber in there, as you can see. So I may need to do something about that. As far as the turnips though, once they get thinned and, weeded a little bit, it's gonna be a powerful lot of turnips, dude. Probably get about 60 of them. It's gonna be great. And look at that. Now, doesn't that just scream salad? It's not consistent throughout the whole bed. Like, it gets thinner and thinner the further you go over here. But they're Nicotiana, so I can always just have those. That's why I let the Nicotiana sort of go to seed wherever. And I scatter them around a little bit. Because I figure anything that's, nothing else will grow on. Nicotiana really doesn't give a shit where you put it. It'll grow anywhere. And the cabbage is still doing well. I have to reweed that a little bit, too. But you get the idea. Everything's going really well. Except for this. Unfortunately, the poppy here, I don't know, it hasn't been mistreated, it's just not doing too well. In fact, it's in better soil than it has been in the past, but it just doesn't want to grow. I don't know. It's an older perennial though. That's one of the original gangsta plants I had back in the late 2000s, so it might have reached the end of its lifespan for all I know. Let's see some lilies. Those never die out. It's impossible to kill them. I need to fucking look at this. You could build a house underneath it. There's rhubarb everywhere. I've done some mowing and some work back here. I know I have to do a little bit more weeding back here, but again, everything's looking pretty good. You gotta admit, it looks a lot better than it did last year. And this old compost pile is still rotting through. It'll be ready in a couple more weeks. I'll take that, put it in the wheelbarrow, whatever's left of it, pop it in the other pile. Sort of clear this out, put more perennials in, because I want to expand this. Actually, I want to get rid of those, pop them in here, expand this about 2 feet, and then this tree is going. You know, I had 10. Oh yeah, I'll show you that in a sec. That's so that they can get to the power line. Actually, it's a right of way. Look here, these are tent caterpillars. Yeah, they're a noxious pest. You get on a tree like this and they come out and they eat it. Ooh, oh my. Yeah, they're not my favorite garden inclusions. Oh well. I'll take care of them my own way. And there's like a beetle really stuck to their web. Poor thing. I'll have to save him. Yeah. Lots and lots of yummies. That's about all. Peace out.